Hey, Elise Pickett here with the Urban Harvest, and today I am going to go over a few composting basics with you. I started this pile about 3 weeks ago, and normally when you're trying to get the soil super quick, like the 3-month time frame that I mentioned, you wouldn't continue adding to the pile. So you make one big pile at one time and start letting it do its thing. But my fridge went out with my bag of compost in it, and I was planning on taking this compost to my demo garden at Stetson, but I am not putting this stuff in my car. So I just dug a hole into the compost pile, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my compost scraps here. You can literally put any sort of organic material you want into your compost pile, including Play-Doh that I made out of flour and stuff for one of my Tinker Garden classes that I teach. I let the kids play with it in the leaves and the dirt and everything, and it gets not usable after a short while, so I even compost that. As you can see, the bag got a little rotten. Got some nice pre-digested food scraps there. You can put paper products into a compost pile. That's totally fine. Falls into the carbon category along with mulch, newspaper, unwaxed cardboard, that kind of thing. And then you get the nitrogen, which is the stuff that can rot. Celery, eggs, coffee grounds, anything that you would, carrot tops, stuff that you would normally throw away when you're prepping your meals. All of that is considered a nitrogen source. That's the good stuff that gives it all the nutrients. So I'm going to just go ahead and dump that right on in the pile. You can put tea bags in there. A lot of people know about the coffee grounds, but just kind of brain fart on the tea bag portion of things. Those are totally good to go in. Berries and fruit, good to go, except for citrus. Pass on the citrus. Those are no good for compost piles. So yeah, definitely nice and pre-digested. That just helps the breakdown process a little bit. No harm, no foul to the compost pile. That's what it all turns into eventually in there. We usually just don't have to deal with it if we're adding the scraps fresh. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I cover all of that back up. I feel like that's one of the more frequently missed steps in the composting process, is not covering the nitrogen sources, which is all of the veggie scraps and everything that you would add to the compost pile. If you don't cover it back up with mulch or leaf litter or old potting soil or something along those lines, things will stink and you will get bugs. So by making sure everything is covered, especially in the beginning of the decomposition process, it eliminates all of those issues with composting. If you haven't heard of Make Soil, it's a really cool community-based program. If you don't compost yourself but are wanting to put your scraps out of the landfills and putting them to good use for a gardener or farmer in your area, you go to makesoil.org, and there's people all over the country, and they list their house as a Make Soil site, or their demonstration garden, or their community garden. And instead of you having to do the compost, you just bring them your food scraps, and they compost it for you. So it keeps it out of the landfill, and you don't have to mess with the compost. It's a win-win, and there's definitely a lot of people out there who would absolutely love to get your food scraps. Composting is an amazing resource for the home gardener. You get such high quality soil, and it's really closing the loop and making things so much more sustainable. I hope you learned a few things about composting, and if you're interested in more composting videos, make sure to leave me a comment below, and I'll be happy to make some videos on any questions you guys have regarding composting. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and while you're down there, hit the subscribe button so you're alerted every time a new video comes out weekly, and I look forward to growing with you.